Just because a vocalist is not technically as good as others doesn't always make them a bad or lesser singer than those with perfect technique. Let's use Rose for example. She is often criticized for her lack of technique, but her voice is unique and sounds very pleasing to me, and when I compare her to someone who's technically better, I would probably still prefer her vocals as she's more exciting and has a more likable voice. Idols don't need to be perfect vocalists for me. They just need to have a unique flair that will draw me in. A vocalist can sound rough and use that to their advantage too. Sometimes that adds to their vibe and matches the songs better. Okay, so I'm sick of seeing people argue about this. SM are known for their perfect vocalists, but their dancers are usually pretty perfect too. They have some good rappers, but I wouldn't say they excel in that area. YG produces perfect rappers, and that is what they are known for. Hanbin, Bobby, Minho, G-Dragon, CL, Jennie, Lisa and more. It's undeniable that they have the best rappers, period. They also have perfect dancers and vocalists too, but let's not get into that. These two companies are famous in these specific areas, and I'm sick of people on Twitter claiming otherwise. It's literal facts, like it's not even an opinion really. Of course other companies have great rappers, vocalists etc, but these two companies are the creme de la creme. Now pipe down and accept the facts. Okay, so I love Bangtan and they have one of the best discographies in Kpop. It's undeniable, but this album was not it for me. Black Swan, Shadow, On, Ugh and Louder Than Bombs were the only ones worthy of the hype in my opinion. People acted like this album was life-changing and utter perfection, and I was expecting a hard-as-fuck return to Bulletproof era type album, but there was so many weak, boring average ballad type songs. Sorry boys, I love you, but this was dull. Also, I hated the album cover and the concept photos because I literally couldn't see them, but anyways, that's enough for today. I'm ready for all the hate comments. PLS, bring it on. Now here's one that people will not be happy with. Just because an idol pulls off their own choreography doesn't make them a superior dancer. Of course they are going to pull it off. It's designed specifically for their style of dance and caters to what they excel at. I'm sure plenty of idol dancers would struggle with other groups' dances because they may not be their style. Like many great idol dancers wouldn't be able to b-boy or krump because it doesn't suit their dance style. But this is mostly aimed towards people who claim that Taemin is the perfect dancer because he pulls off his choreographies. Like, what else is he going to do, dance them badly? It's a dance made for him, of course he will dance it well. That doesn't make him a better dancer. I'm also not saying he's a bad dancer because that's ridiculous, but you'll hype him up like he just broke out into the samba. Like, wake up. Namjoon's solo songs really just hit different with me. I think his style is more my cup of tea. J-Hope is very hit or miss with his solo songs. I either love them or hate them, and Yoongi, I love his solos, but they just don't quite match up to Namjoon's. I mean, they're solos that aren't a part of Bangtan's discography, by the way, lads. LOL, if I were basing it on that, then it would be Jungkook because his songs have a special place in my heart, but I mean like the mixtapes. Namjoon's just really speak to me on a spiritual level. I love how sad and beautiful they are. It always makes me laugh when people say they love how meaningful the lyrics are, because I really have never been able to enjoy having subs on when I watch the videos. Usually they don't flow with the song and it gets on my nerves. I prefer to feel the meaning within the music instead. But yeah, people will always say, oh wow, I love those lyrics, and I'm always thinking, sweetie, you ain't know the lyrics, they're speaking Korean. Of course you can look up the meaning, but you'll never get the true vibe because they won't flow the same. But everyone feels differently, and if it resonates with you, then hey, that's cool, but personally I hate looking at the lyrics. LMAO. LOONA are not an underrated group. I'm pretty sure 90% of Kpop stans know of LOONA at this point. Y'all don't stan actual underrated groups, and it shows. I really struggle with second gen groups because usually if the group is still going, I will like their new music but find the old songs very cringe, and the ones that don't make new music, well, I just find all their music a bit cringe. There's not many second gen groups whose early songs I enjoy. Probably only some shiny songs and some infinite songs if they can even be counted as second gen Lmao. That's about it. Poor Super Junior and Big Bang. I love their more recent songs, but god, some of their old stuff just hurts me. I really don't like fan chants Lmao. I just find them a bit cringy. I've never learned any. The only ones I tolerate are 17s and the one for Icons Killing Me, but apart from that they get on my nerves and I don't like them. It's okay to say that some idols looks similar. I don't understand why this angers people so much. If I see resemblance between two people I will say it. There is no bad intention, they just look a bit similar. People really need to get off their high horse and accept that people are allowed to think for themselves and have different viewpoints. Honestly, so sick of seeing people complain about this. Girl groups have really been outdoing themselves recently. I'll be honest, usually girl group songs don't really do it for me. I find their voices are usually a bit too annoyingly high pitched, so it sounds fake and forced, but honestly the ladies have been coming out. Their choreographies have been popping off and finally they are letting girls dance to their full potential. For example, Dreamcatcher, Everglow and ITZY. Personally, I hated the creepiness of the cute concepts given to girl groups because they seem aimed towards creepy dudes that just wanted to look up their skirts, but now it seems companies have realized they can also gather a strong female fanbase by giving us badass queens. This is what I like to see. BTS are literally Kpop. They are proud of their roots and just like every single Kpop group they experiment with genre. They have not done anything musically revolutionary enough to be described as Btpop, as their music follows formats and genres that already exist. I don't think you'll realize how dumb you sound. Like, imagine if Ed Sheeran came out and said he'd despised the genre was Ed Sheeran pop. Like, y'all would take the piss out of him eternally. That's how stupid BTS pop sounds. They are not reforming music, they are just popular. It's okay for them to be Kpop. Stop making it sound like a disease. They are proud to represent Korean music in this way. They did not invent any new kind of music, so just stop with this BTS pop shit because it's ridiculous and embarrassing. I don't care if BTS have said it themselves, because the fact remains they are using real existing genres in music and haven't made anything new, which of course isn't a bad thing because they slay the genres they use for their music, but doesn't change the fact that they are real genres that already exist. Jennie's solo was a bop and y'all can stay mad. The other girls will eventually have solos too, but YG is the problem because they are shite. It's not Jennie's problem that they can't treat the whole group fairly, and solo is an anthem. It has a similar sound to Gashina, that's true, but at the end of the day both are bops and both ladies are queens, so let's just enjoy the music and let it be. I really hate ITZY's discography. I'm sorry girls, there's so much talent there, but the beats of their songs are just horrible and loud and annoying. The producer must have just keyboard smashed on the noise setting. I do like Cherry though, that one's nice, but the rest I cannot stand. They have a similar thing to Momoland happening as well. Their 3 title tracks at current feel very similar, but y'all eat it up. Funny because everyone shits on Momoland even though ITZY follows the same structure. Interesting. Lucky for me I don't like either of their music Lmao. But yes, I hope ITZY do something a little less loud next because I want to like them, I really do, but god, I just hate this style so much. I think people are so overdramatic about this, like it's just a joke. There is no ill intention here. So what if they don't cover it seriously? If girl groups dressed as men and dance to boy group songs, guess what? I'd laugh at that too because it's funny and a joke. I mean, Jesus, boy groups can't even breathe near girl group songs and people are raging at them for not being feminine enough or not taking it seriously enough. Who cares? It's not that deep and y'all need to get over it. I don't think this is as bad as people think. It's very natural to compare people because that's what this industry is about. It's what group you connect with more and who has the better music. Of course I have a lot of love for many groups, but I still have my particular ults, and that's fine. You can like plenty of groups and still compare them to your faves because that's how you determine which group is your fave and how you vote on award shows if you do vote. As long as you're respectful, then I see no problem with drawing comparisons. Windflower is Mamamoo's best title track and everyone is afraid to admit it. It's a beautiful song with a beautiful music video that focuses on their vocals and it deserves some respect on its name. Just because it's not a thought anthem doesn't mean it isn't good and I will no longer take the Windflower slander. I really don't like when idols become actors mainly because I find dramas very cringy and awkward, although I will give it to Jennie because his acting seems really good, but overall I just find the K-drama acting style a bit embarrassing. LMAO. I'm sorry to those who love dramas but they don't do it for me and I'd prefer idols to stick to music. I don't think IU's music is that good. I understand why others would like her voice but personally it gets on my nerves and I find her music very full, but of course I have no issue with her as a person, I just really don't like her music. I really think people overreact when non-East Asian people join Kpop groups. Like it doesn't make sense that it's okay for someone Chinese or Japanese to learn Korean and join a Kpop group but anyone else it's suddenly stealing their culture, like if they are literally moving to Korea and singing in Korean. Learning to dance and all the other things that make an idol, where is the problem? It's not like they get special treatment because it is in fact the very opposite and people love to bully them online. I just think it's super hypocritical that people who are from other East Asian countries that don't know Korean well are okay just because they are East Asian. Pop groups also experiment with music from other parts of the world such as Hispanic and there's no problem with that either. I just find it odd how many double standards there are. So long as people respect the culture of Korea and Kpop, then why can't they join a Kpop group? I hate reaction channels, they're so over the top and fake, like I just always find them painful to watch. Edward Avila is the only one with rights because his whole channel isn't solely focused on watching every Kpop video known to man and faking reactions for clout. Treasure are going to be Rookie of the Year if they ever debut. They are just so powerful. They are funny as fuck. Amazing dancers. Amazing singers. Amazing rappers. Amazing producers. They are one of the most well-rounded groups I've seen for a while and their voices complement each other so well it's like they were born to sing together. It's crazy. If they aren't Rookie of the Year once they debut, I'll have to throw hands. Now I too am looking forward to the potential Blackpink comeback, but I am sick of people complaining about other groups getting promotion or having albums. Like, I'm sorry, but Winner and iKON both make their own music, plus iKON had a year in between. Dive and I'm okay after Hanbin left. Unfortunately these two groups are very independent and Hanbin even set iKON's debut date himself. IG tried to change it for a different date but he forced it to be sooner. Blackpink don't have this same drive that other groups do and this is why they are falling behind. So please stop complaining about other groups having comebacks only when Blackpink have fully produced their albums themselves. Will you be able to complain about that one? I really don't see why IG wouldn't allow them to self-produce if they wanted and are good at it, because literally half the company can do it. Treasure, iKON, Winner, Big Bang and 2NE won before they left, so if Blackpink are capable of it, why wouldn't they be allowed? It makes no sense to me at all. It's gross that people want to sexualize and romanticize smoking of any kind. Before any comes for me, I also wouldn't romanticize drinking either, but smoking is literally dangerous and Juul was designed as a way for people to come off cigarettes. They are still not good for you and should not be treated as safe by foolish people on the internet. He can do what he was BTS, but y'all 12-year-olds can stop making it sexualized. It's creepy and Tay would think you're a fucking widow, let's be honest. Psy is the reason that locals think Kpop is cringy and embarrassing. He did not pave any kind of way for Kpop at all. The reason Gangnam Style was popular was because it was a meme, not because people genuinely loved the song. He did absolutely nothing for Kpop. I didn't even know it was Kpop until I listened to Big Bang. Anyone who actually views Psy as paving the way is deluded. The only people who have paved any kind of way is Big Bang, Wonder Girls, SNSD, Boa and BTS. All Psy brought was assumptions that Kpop was weird and not a serious genre. Jibam is my fave dancer from GOT7 for sure. Most people prefer UGM, but I really have never felt much towards his dancing. Like, of course the whole of GOT7 are amazing dancers, but UGM in particular never stood out to me dance wise, not like Jibam. I definitely prefer a more b-boy and hip hop vibe when it comes to dancing. I'm obviously not a professional, so I base it not from technique, but for me I'm always blown away by the way Jibam dances. Like, damn, the boy can move. People really over-exaggerate the way EXO are promoted. Like, I really don't see how they've been neglected. It's more like they are that popular and loved that SM don't actually need to give them tons of promotion, because EXO basically promote themselves just by being EXO. As a company, why waste money when you're blatantly going to have just the same amount of attention anyway? It wouldn't make sense. Also, EXO are still just as popular as before and have never been left behind. They have solo projects and have plenty of group comebacks too. Clearly EXO-LS have never seen a true drought. LMAO, maybe if you actually fucked with their solo songs you wouldn't feel as if they weren't promoting. Just a thought. Stray Kids' vocal line really has never impressed me all that much. I really did not like the way Woojin's voice sounded at all, but the others just are all a bit nondescript for me. Like, they are a bit whiny and not overall pleasing for me, neither do they strike much of an impact. They are easily overshadowed by the rap line. Honestly, I wouldn't even be able to tell you who was main vocal if I hadn't looked on profiles. I'm sorry boys, you are talented in other areas, but the vocals just don't do it for me. I think it's time for Momoland to disband by only for their sake. They are clearly mistreated by their company. 2 members have already left and exposed what Momoland have been through. Their producer keeps recycling the same song over and over, and now people are starting to lose interest in them. If they don't manage to escape soon, then I believe people will give up on them musically and will lose interest entirely. I really hope their contracts will end soon so they can hopefully reform under a new company and finally make a song which doesn't kill your ears and isn't a copy again.